All right, we are live on episode 10 of the Content Lab podcast. I can't believe I make it already. I made it through 10 episodes.
Yeah, dude, congrats.
Thank you, buddy. So today we have a special guest. His name is Michael Dalton. Michael is the owner of Hustle Media. He specializes in creating videos, animations, and designs for clients all over the world. Some of his most notable clients are Warner Bros and CrossFit HQ, like most of the people are listening know. And I'm super excited to have you here, Michael. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, dude, thank you for having me. I'm glad it worked out. I know my
Yeah,
schedule gets a little weird being a dad and doing
I
dad
know.
things.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I posted one of the Instagram stories like, "Hey, who would you like to have, or who are some of the guests that you want me to have on the show?" And your name popped up like 3 to 4 times. So
Yeah, I didn't
people,
I didn't pay all those people.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's what
yeah.
you told me. You're like, "Yeah, I'll pay them after. I'll send them
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Venmo."
Yeah, I hit him up on Venmo. $2 per name drop. It's very affordable. Very,
Yeah.
very affordable.
So I'm super excited to have you for a couple of reasons. First, because I've seen your work for a while and I love it. And another
Thanks,
thing, and
dude.
I know people are excited too, is because you have a lot of experience in the industry. You have over 13 years of experience in the full time content creation industry.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, we can just learn so much from you. I feel like most people that have been on the show or are listening were like newer in the space. We haven't been, 13 years in the industry. So, dude, I'm ready. Are you
Yeah,
ready
well,
to get this?
I've got the gray hair to prove it. But I it doesn't look as nice as yours. That's for
Oh,
sure. Yours
yeah, yeah.
isn't. That's not gray. I don't know what are we metallic? It's
I
like
guess so.
a
Yeah,
nice metallic vibe.
yeah.
No, mine is just gray from stress. I yeah, dude, I've been around for a little bit. It doesn't feel like that long until we start to say it's 13 years, and you're like, man, I remember being
Yeah.
13. So like, I guess my career is in a early pubescent stage as I would have been at 13. Still squeaky voice, but arms and legs longer than they're supposed to be for the phase of my life.
Absolutely. Let's bring it back to your life growing up. Where you from, or where were you born and growing
Sure.
up?
I was born in Danville, Virginia. It's kind of middle of nowhere. Um, the thing that Danville has going for it is that it's close to North Carolina, so it basically has nothing really, nothing really going for it. And maybe it does now. Who knows? It doesn't. But yeah, so I grew up Danville, Virginia, and then middle of my senior year, my family moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina, for my parents to have like a job change, career change. And so I stayed in South Carolina really just long enough to graduate high school. And I really tried to not go to college. I wasn't interested, but my parents made me go. So I took a year off after high school and toured with a metal band for a little while. And then went and studied film. So I moved down to Orlando or Winter Park, Florida to study film. Graduated 2009 and ended up meeting my wife here and staying in Florida. And, just a couple Florida men on a podcast here this morning. That's what's
There
happening.
you go.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can rebrand it to the Florida Man
the
cast.
Florida Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be the title.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you were a musician. You toured with them as like a musician or just filming?
No, I kind of like D, none of the above. I not a musician, not like man, I wish I was musical. No, I was kind of like a roadie, I guess, in a
Yeah,
lot of ways. Like I did shoot some video only for fun. Um I was still very much like learning then, like just how to, I don't know what I even wanted to make. But so I shot some stuff for fun, but I mostly ran a really like dinky uh, light show for them out of construction lights. So mostly we would get to a venue and I would run power cables all over the venue or a restaurant. We were all like, this was not like a big deal metal band. And in case they're watching, they were a very big deal. They were huge, the biggest in the world.
biggest in the
And
world.
yeah, so I ran a light show, and some nights if the venue didn't have enough power to run the light show, my job was to mosh. That was literally
Yep.
The moment they started, I had to move. They said I had to move my body the entire time to earn my $5 for the day.
Nice.
Yeah,
Love it.
dude.
You said you went to film school?
I did. Yeah.
Did you have any previous experience with like film and stuff before you went there, or it was kind of like, oh, I wanna do this?
Yeah, I had, like all growing up, my dad made videos. And well, my dad shot videos on like home video cameras and stuff. Like I always say that my dad was like a lifelong nerd, and which I'm very, very thankful for now. Um, but we had video cameras around, and so like I had shot stuff. I had like um it wasn't even, man, it was like before Final Cut for me. I don't remember the name of the editing software, but I learned how to edit um, really like almost exclusively because of the movie Jackass. Like I saw the movie Jackass and I was like,
Yeah.
this is it. This is it for me. And so learned to edit just to basically make like Jackass stuff with my friends. We were on America's Funniest Home Videos, which
Oh,
is,
really? Nice.
yeah, I've tried to find the clip so many times and it's lost in the internet somewhere. But yeah, I had made stuff before. I knew how to edit in Final Cut. I worked at a camp for a little while making videos there. So it wasn't like cold turkey really headed into film school. But it was like my first foray into like the degree that I studied was really like big budget film,
Okay.
so it was my first time like using a light or, we shot on 16 millimeter and 35 millimeter while I was there. And like it was my first time touching any of that stuff. I had never seen or been around any of it, short of just like watching behind the scenes on, all my favorite DVDs.
Yeah.
Remember DVDs? Those were
Yeah.
fun.
And how long ago was that when once finished
I
film
started it.
school?
It was an interesting degree program. It was like very condensed. We went full time, like more than 40 hours of class a week.
Wow.
So I started in 2007 and I graduated in 2009. So March of 2009 is when I graduated.
Gotcha. And what was your first step after college? What do you start working for a company, or you went, you know,
Um,
full time by yourself?
Man, that first little stint after college was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to go back to school. I wanted to go get my master's degree, like really only because I was afraid to go out into the world. And I actually lined up through a friend of mine who was my roommate, a documentary gig right after school that we like self-funded. Um, and so we went to the Middle East and shot this documentary that was never finished. And so like it was like one of my first like, oh shit, like I've kind of like bitten off more than I can chew. Incredible experience, wouldn't trade it for the world. But I came back and I worked at Urban Outfitters
Yeah.
after college for a little while. I folded women's clothing and sold housewares. I don't actually remember selling any housewares. I mostly remember just folding women's clothing for hours and hours every day. But while I did that, I started shooting weddings, and shot weddings. Got a little gig working at a wedding. I called it a wedding editing office. So I just edited wedding videos all week long, and then I would shoot my own wedding videos on the weekend. And yeah, dude, somewhere in there, I started shooting metal videos just because of my connection with the metal band, and did those two things side by side for a while, which was like fun to show up to a wedding and have to like delete like death metal videos off of your SD cards, or CF cards, I guess at the time is what it was. But yeah, dude, that was my post college. It was not like a glamorous entry into the world. It was very like very grindy, but
Yeah.
it was fun. I
Which
lived with a
I
bunch of
feel like,
dudes and we had a
yeah,
good time.
I feel like most people, that's what we go through right after college. Like, you don't know what to do. You have a degree and you don't know exactly if you're gonna use that degree. You're
Right.
gonna do something different. It's kind of like that stage that we're like trying to figure it out.
Right. And
And
it's important, like
yeah,
that's a formative time. Like, um, I debated like quitting college midway through because I was like, I'm studying big budget film and I don't really want to, like I was like, I don't want to go. We had a teacher that told us like, working in big budget film is like living in the circus. They were like, you're going to live on the road. You're going to be away from your family. You do your tricks during the day. You know, you try to sleep at night and you wake up and do your tricks again the next day. And I was like, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I tried to just finish my degree out and learn what I could to apply to what I wanted to do, as opposed to just like, you know, go be my lion tamer on a camera crew or whatever it was I was learning how to do.
Yeah. And we're talking that's about 2010. If I go back to timeline, you started like right after college
Yeah.
and you start working with CrossFit. I don't know if you were already full time with CrossFit, but you started in 2011, right? Doing
Yeah.
CrossFit stuff. Can you
Yeah.
like take me back to like first, like, did you do CrossFit, like the sport before like connecting with them? And just take me back to how all that started.
Sure. So let's see. While I was in college, so somewhere probably like 2008, some friends of mine were actually following Main Site.
Okay.
And let's loose quotes following, because I highly doubt they were actually following Main Site. But they took me with them one day to do this like kind of like circuit training sort of day. And man, I threw up so many times. I had to take off my socks to clean the puke off my shoes. And I was like, yeah, this is for me. You know, like, yeah, I'll be back. And I that was my like introduction to CrossFit. But like I had no other real connection to the company itself. But the affiliate that I was going to, I had offered to trade video with in exchange for my membership. So I was making videos for them, and that affiliate was like, "Hey, CrossFit is posted about this film festival, like this video competition. You should enter." So it was like the second year of the Open. They wanted videos to promote the Open itself, but like your region. Like back then, CrossFit was very heavy into like your specific region of the United States. So we were like the Dirty South regional, I think is what they called us. And I made a video. I went to like 2 or 3 gyms, submitted it, and I don't actually know that they ever posted like here's like how this film festival went, because it essentially was a trick to try to get people find who made videos. But I got a call from Rory McKernan after that. He was in charge of the media department at the time, asking, or maybe he was under Tony Budding. I don't know. But he was asking, he was like, first off, are you interested in moving to California? And I was like, no, thank you. My wife was in grad school.
Staying in Florida.
Yeah, dude, staying in Florida. You got to stay east of the Mississippi. And the other option was like, will you contract? And are you willing to travel? And I was like, yes and yes. So I basically started contracting in like late 2011. But my first real job, they had like a tryout job, was I flew out and met Heber, Dave Castro, Adrian Bosman in Cookeville to go film Rich Froning, Dan Bailey do 12.2, the 12.2 demo. And that was my like introduction. And I rolled in like
dope.
jeans.
Just
yeah,
starting.
Right. It's terrifying. I rolled in like jeans and a flannel, because that's what I thought like the, film industry, how I dressed. And they all had like workout shorts on and, early nanos. And I was like, well, I am severely overdressed for this activity. And now I will sweat in the Tennessee Tech gym all day long. But it was super, super, super cool.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
2000. That's why, like, well, first of all, I think it's really cool. That's the way you started, just kind of like shooting videos for your affiliate, because
right.
I don't know, maybe 90% of us started that way. Just
for sure.
We did CrossFit. We like the sport. We know the membership. It's not cheap, but we have some skills, right? We can take some pictures for you. We can do some videos, and that's how I got started. I've talked to other people. I can't remember exactly like which one out of the episode, but I think like 3 or 4 of them told me the same thing. That's how they got started. I believe that's how Heber got started too.
Oh yeah,
I had Heber on episode 3, and I remember that's what he said. He just started exchanging membership, with his videos, and then that's how he got connected with CrossFit.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's it makes the world feel a lot smaller, when there's so many of us that I think our foray was like the same, like we found this thing that we loved. We wanted to add this other element that we loved into it, and it snowballs. Like I think it's a convergence of passions, and I think that's I don't know. I get very like idealistic about that stuff, but I feel like when passions converge, it can't fail. Like it can maybe go a different direction than you wanted it to, but I feel like it only works for some success, some levels, even if it's just internal. I think it never lands like fully flat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. So we have a comment here. Coffee Pots and Watts. He said, "Can decide if I like the mustache or the phrase on the background, on the flag in the background more."
This is for you, Peter.
So talking about that phrase, I don't know if people can. Yeah, you can see it there. It's don't give up.
This way. Don't give up the
Don't give up
ship.
the ship. So that brings me to a video that you shared not that long ago, and that now that we're talking about your first experience in the CrossFit world. I mean, you went to film. What is it? 12.1? Is that what you said?
It was 12.2.
12.2.
It was like the snatch ladder.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, we're talking about first experience into the CrossFit world. You're throw right there with Rich Front, which is at that point you see Rich, and well, still like you see Rich, and everybody's like, oh my god,
right.
And you share a quote. I'm gonna play real quick, and it's something that once I heard it, I texted her out, and I'm like, dude, this just hit me straight. Like I felt it hard. It's 5 seconds long, and I feel like it's something that applies to everybody in the industry that I've been listening to.
If you are like me and you're having a week where you're doing a whole lot of stuff you're not really good at, remember, you're not failing, you're learning. Don't give up the shit.
Were you able to listen to that?
Yeah. I heard
okay,
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, dude, I heard it and I was like, I feel like I've been in this situation so many times.
Yeah.
And more in our industry, because sometimes like we know we have the skill set, but it's a complete different like situation.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know if I'm good enough to be here.
Right.
I'm working with people that are much better than me. Like, do I deserve to be here?
Right.
And as you were saying, it's not a failure, it's everything. It's like a learning experience. And the people that make it are those don't give up the ship, like those that just keep on trying. And dude, that just hit me straight to it. And I feel like I mean I can talk about your own experience, but I feel like that's probably what you felt the first time that you were shooting CrossFit with Heber and all of them.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, well, first off, thank you. I give myself pep talks all the time. And so that video, like I was walking my dog and I said out loud to myself, I was like, you're not failing, you're learning. And I like got choked up, like alone by myself on this dirt road with my dog, which sounds like a country song, side note. It was as much for me as it was for anyone else. But like, to your point, I think I might be addicted to, driven by, whatever the term is, to that feeling of being like in over my head, because like I want to always be progressing. I want to be stretched. I want to be like tried and tested. And maybe sometimes that's unhealthy, maybe sometimes I should like take a deep breath. But I like being in scenarios where I'm like, man, I am the small fish in this pond, because I like growing, like I like pushing myself. But in order to get to that point, like I was listening to Carly's episode, Carly Creative, the other day, and she had said this thing where she was like, if all these, like, should I even be trying this if all these other people are better at it than I am? And man, I can't tell you how many times, like, I think that once a week, you know what I mean? Like still, all these years later, once a week, I'm still like, should I even be doing this? Like, is there something else I should be doing? Is there a better use of my time? And, if you can like I'm not going to speak for you. If I can push past that moment, you know, whatever comes out on the other side is always worth it. Always worth it. You know, like it might not be what I thought it was going to be in the first place, you know, like, but it's always worth trying.
Absolutely.
There's this comedian, Chris Gethard. I don't know if you've heard of that guy, but he ran a public access TV show on like a local public access channel in New York. And they had this guy that would come on and do these like spoken word poems. And this guy did a poem called Lose Well. And he essentially was like, we are going, God, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. He's like, we're going to be so good at failing that we're good losers. Like we're going to lose well. So much so that like we're used to it. We're going to brush ourselves off. We're going to get up and we're going to keep going. And we're not going to quit. Like we're just going to equate it to a lesson learned and we're going to move on. And that, you know, that to me is like, oh shit, dude. That's like the entire creative process. You know what I mean? Like, is that 100%. True for you too? Am I like, yeah,
absolutely. And I love that you are sharing all this stuff, and I love that you share that stuff on Instagram, because as I mentioned, I posted something, a lot of people said, hey, you need to have Michael Dalton. So a lot of people look up to you. You've somebody that's been in the industry for a while, and even somebody with such experience, and you know, like everybody knows your work, you still feel that way. You still you go somewhere and you're like, should I be here? You know, you still have that feeling of like, okay, let's not fail at this. And then just realizing, okay, let's just soak all this in and just use it as experience, as a learning experience. And I thought it was, it's something we definitely needed to share, because I mean, there's people that probably feel the same 1-2 years in the industry. And then we have somebody like you, 13 years, and you still feel the same.
Right.
And it's, as you said, it's part of the creative process. It's just something that you're always going to feel like that.
Right.
And it's something that I feel like right now doing the podcast, like when I started, you were talking about like you're somebody that always like pretty much like looks for new challenges, something to like make you feel, you know, like that. Like, so for me, it's like starting something new.
Right.
And that's how I felt with the podcast, for example.
Right.
I remember, I think I shared it. I think it might have been with Sammy Moniz last week, that it was like 2 weeks that I couldn't sleep. I was like thinking about like so many things in my head. Waking up in the morning, same thing. It was like, there was something, I'm like, I need to try something new. I feel like I'm in a spot in my life that I'm doing everything so repetitive.
Right.
You know, I'm waking up, doing what I have to do for some of my clients, editing, going back to bed. And I was like, I need to try something new. I'm somebody that like likes challenges.
Right.
And the idea of a podcast came to my mind. I'm like, should I even try this? First of all, English not my first language. So that right away, that's just uncomfortable.
Which is so cool, dude. Man, I wish I knew 2 languages. Good for you. That's so cool.
I literally learned how to speak English when I was 18 years old. So,
oh, really?
So that's, yeah, right away, that's like uncomfortable.
How'd you learn?
To me.
What was your learning? I love hearing like people, how they learn English. What was their,
I just got sent to, no. So I got, let me tell you real quick. So I was 17 years old, and I finished high school, and I used to play golf, very high level golfer. And my parents sent me here to the United States so I can play tournaments around the country. So I get a scholarship. So that's where I live, between Orlando and Miami. I travel, play tournaments, and I got a golf scholarship to play at the University of West Florida. And so I had to learn English. I had to pass the SAT. So I was 17 years old. I turned 18 a week after, and I could barely speak English and understand. And just being here, it was like, I have to learn. And
that's so cool. Good for you, dude.
Thanks. So back to the story. So that's just uncomfortable to me, to like, it's a different language. So obviously I don't have like full, like perfect English. Sure. So that's uncomfortable.
Your English is fantastic. I don't know what, it's way better than mine. I don't know if you know this, but they don't entirely speak good English in Danville, Virginia, where I grew up.
Yeah. And second is being in front of a camera. I've never felt comfortable being in front of a camera.
Sure.
Third
but
is
you look great. Look at you.
I
Look at
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah.
And it's just a challenge, something that I don't feel comfortable at, and I've been feeling more comfortable like after episode, I don't know, 4, 5, 6. It's been, getting better, but it's just such an awesome feeling to start something from zero, something that just episode 1 I was like sweating it, and now it's like I'm starting to feel comfortable. I'm learning so much from people like you, everybody that I've had in the other
Right.
episodes, and the most rewarding part is getting messages from people telling me, dude, I've been listening to your episodes and I've been learning so much from all the guests that you've had, and I love it, like keep doing this. So that's just kind of like just keeps me like I gotta
Yeah,
keep
dude.
doing this, gotta keep trying.
Right. And it's yours too. You know what I mean? Like this was like this little screen that we're in right now is like yours. Like no one can take that from you. You made this thing. Like that is, I told you I was going to try not to swear as long as I could. I made it 20. Well, I've said a few shits and damns, but this is fucking yours. You know what I mean? 26 minutes, 24 seconds, as far
Yeah.
as that I can make it without fuck. But like you had a dream and you didn't know what the dream was, right? Like you just couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. And then the dream became a reality. And like here we are. And that is
Yeah.
fucking cool. Like good for you, dude.
Appreciate it. And still in the early stages, but I feel so honored to have, people like you. Like I reach out and you're like, dude, let's do it. I would love
Yeah.
to be on the show, and it blows my mind. I'm learning a lot, so I'm glad to just be here in this moment with you. Super dope.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to get to be a part. There's this video that I've referenced to some people before, but it's this little kid. I think he's on a scooter at a skate park, and he's just like following people around. And every time they land a trick, he just like scoots up and goes like, "Nice one." Like I think if you just Google like "nice one kid,"
I've seen that one.
yeah, dude. And I very much I aspire to be nice one kid for like my entire life, my entire career. Like I know what it's like to make stuff alone and to, like I've worked remotely my entire career at this point. Like I've had a few brief stints where I was an employee at a place, but like I know what it's like to make stuff alone and then to feel like you're making it in a vacuum. And if I ever get the opportunity to be nice one kid for somebody, I'm gonna take it. Just to be like, in modern day, it's as simple as like fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Like, but like it matters to me to get to just like be nice one kid, because like, man, I'm sure you've been around people too that are just like they're like just always better than you, like, and even if their work is or isn't like, it's not a fucking contest, but like their demeanor is that they're better than you. And I hate that. I don't feel like there's room for that, like, and if we can all be nice one kid to each other, then like, man, the whole place, the whole thing, like rising tides raise all ships. Like the whole world will be a better place to live in. But like shit, I lost my train of thought. I had another thing.
You're good. You're talking about being the nice one kid
Nice one kid. Yeah.
between each other.
Yeah, it's gone, whatever it is. I just want to be nice one kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have some people here in the comments. Well, first we have Alex.
Takis is how I pronounce it. Alex,
Takis,
I hope I'm
yeah.
Takis. That's how I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
he
it.
says it's Star Wars Day. Show off that Chewie tattoo, Mikey.
See him there? There he is.
Yeah. There you go. We have Nicholas Glenny. He said, so humble and such a legend.
Thanks, dude. Man, look at that guy. Is he not just like, he's a pretty man.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He kind of looks like Heber on that picture, right?
Yeah. Like I think if Heber had like an angrier older brother. I know Heber does have an older brother, but I don't imagine that he's angry. Yeah. I don't think Nico's angry either, but that picture has like the.
Yeah. Then shout out to Michael for his kindness and honesty in reviewing some of my video projects I produced for my kid.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
Happy to. I like when people send me their stuff like, hey, what do you think of this? Like, I'll give you my notes on it, like, I'll be as constructive and kind as I can. And I can't always do it,
Yeah.
but I'll try.
We have Party On Forever saying Michael has been nice one kid for me for 15 plus years.
That is that is Andy. Andy was the vocalist of the band that I toured with.
Awesome.
So I have been nice when kidding Andy's his entire, as long as I've known him, I've thought he was a celebrity. So I'll be nice wanting.
Chris Andrews, little late, but I'm here. Let's go, Michael. Thank you for tuning in, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought too. I was gonna talk about something. Anyways, let's go back to one of the questions that we have, and then I'll probably remember midway through. So
what's happening to us, Florida Man, the Florida Man cast. Thanks for tuning in the Florida Man cast, where we lose our train of thought.
Yeah. So Jordan Levin, he says, any advice for someone who works a full-time job and does media as a hobby on taking a leap and pursuing it full-time?
Man, Jordan, first off, good luck. Give him hell. But like, I love hearing people say things like, quit your job, like dive full speed into the other thing. But man, I'm a dad, like I know good and well that like that I cannot give you that like guidance and mean it for myself, like, but I feel like if you work a full-time gig and you make stuff on the side and you want to like switch over to doing it full-time, I think you gotta like pick some nights where you're gonna like work super late and take advantage of your weekends that you can like, you have to make stuff, like we, there's this quote from Ira Glass. He was the producer of the This American Life podcast, but his whole thing is like, he has this quote where it says like, you got into making stuff because you have good taste, but your skill has not yet caught up with your taste. So he was like, you'll make a thing, and I imagine you do this too, but you make a thing, and as soon as you're done with it, you're like, I could have done better than that. Yeah. Because your like taste, your skill has not caught up with your taste. So his point is you have to keep making stuff to hopefully your taste is always improving and your skill constantly rises to catch up. But I feel like in this scenario, like you have to work your full-time job. You got to do what you got to do to like make life work and be realistic, right? Like we have bills to pay. And if you have other responsibilities, you have to tend to them. But like, you also need to find the thing that makes you feel like you come alive, right? Like, and if that's making media, then you got to make the thing that makes you feel like you come alive. And so like for me, I was shooting weddings. I did not love shooting weddings, but it was like not a bad gig. And I got to like make stuff, but I was struggling to find the thing while I was doing that made me feel like fulfilled creatively. And I found like bands that I could go shoot their music videos for free. Just so that I could learn to edit and I could learn to edit music videos and I could have stuff to post and share in the extra time. And sometimes that was like staying up all night long to finish the thing so it could be done and I could move on to the next project. Or sometimes it was like taking a whole weekend and I didn't, go anywhere or do anything like fun because I was having fun doing the thing that I was doing. Like now in my life, like I have a child. My wife also works full time. Like I work for myself, but it's like more than a full-time job at this point. And I have stuff that I'm like learning and wanting to do in addition. And that stuff has to fit into like a late night or like an early morning or asking my wife to like, can I have a weekend day to take a course or something like that? Like, so I don't know, dude. I think Jordan, like, I don't believe in these like, oh wait, where's my screen? I don't believe in like timelines where one moves and stops and then the other one continues. I kind of believe in like one fades out and then the next one takes over. So like, I wouldn't say quit your job, but like, man, if you hate it and you can manage to quit and have some like takeover time, where you can like drive for Uber or DoorDash and make stuff in your free time, then do that. But I think what I would say seems more realistic to me is like, make stuff in whatever moment of free time that you can, get it in front of as many people as you can, and then start telling people that you make it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, dude, but like, it took me forever to be like, hey, I'm Michael and I make videos. I was like timid to even tell people because I was like afraid they would ask me to do it and I'd have to prove it. But like, just fucking tell people like, hey, I'm Michael. Hey, my name is Jordan Levin. I hope I'm not pronouncing your last name wrong. And I make media. Like, put it in your bio and post stuff. And, you know, what's the worst thing that could happen? I don't know. Maybe something actually bad, but.
Yeah, no, that's a great advice. And it's coming from somebody that's been a full-time content creator for 13 years.
Well, it sounds
over 13 years.
I sound old that way, but I might be old, so it's okay.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to say before that I forgot, I kind of remember, is that, for example, Dan is saying that, you know, you reviewed some of his video projects, which I think it's super cool. I mean, I think it's dope that you help people just for helping, you know, like you don't want anything in return. And I think that's super cool because, as I mentioned before, people look up to you and people are gonna, they're gonna mimic what you do, right? So if somebody looks up to you and they're like, I love Michael's content, and then they reach out to you, you're like, bro, I don't have time for you, stuff like that, they'll be like, oh, well, that dude, like, I mean, he doesn't have time for me.
Right.
And then they're like, you know, I want to be like Michael. And then in the future, they're probably gonna do the same thing. Once they make it a little bigger, somebody's gonna reach out to them. They're gonna be like, hey, you know, Michael is what I want it to be. So I'm gonna say the same thing. You know, maybe that's the way to go. So I think it's so important for people that are very well established to show some appreciation for people that want to get to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Man, I reached out. Do you know that show Friday Night Lights? Did you ever watch that? Like, kind of dorky show, but also best show of all time, best show ever made. And I reached out to like the DP of that show on, I think I found him on Facebook or something. And I was like, hey, dude, I love how this looks. I truly think your show has changed like everything about how I make videos. How did you do it? Like, what was the process? And this dude who was like the DP of this like 9-season, you know, huge like network television show sent me this long message back about his whole process of how they made the show. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Yeah. Like, that is like, that's kindness. And like, I know good and well that there's nothing that I do that other people can't do, you know, like, I know that plain and simple. But like Alex Takis, the earlier comment, and I have talked about this a lot, that like we have all these opportunities where we can choose to make the world the place that we want to live in. You know what I mean? Like all throughout my college degree, I had teachers that would tell me like, they're referencing like big budget film, but they were like, you know, at the drop of a hat, you could get fired. You could say the wrong thing to a director by accident and get kicked off the set. Like, they would scream at us sometimes just to like, you know, they're like, it's a real world education, whatever. But like, I was like, man, we don't have to do that. You know, like, we don't have to tolerate that or accept that even, you know, like, so like, you know, whenever I can, I want to give people, I want to be a nice one, kid, you know, like, I want to tell them to like, keep going and like, keep making stuff and like, and not like, I don't want to be the reason someone quit, you know, or the reason someone stopped pursuing the thing that they wanted to do. Unless I'm supposed to be that person. I don't know. Like, but I'd rather someone else do that. But yeah, dude, I want to elevate other people, and I want to be the person that holds the door open and to, you know, that shows people a way in, and it doesn't make things like exclusive. People have done that to me too many times, and I'm resentful of it. You know, and I'm resentful of it to the point that I will be kind to people to spite that, just to prove a point. So I think that we can, dude, like, we are artists, right? Like, and art, I think, comes with emotions. And I think that sometimes those emotions are sensitive. I think that most people who make things have to live in a different level of sensitivity than most people who work, like a straightforward 9 to 5 may be able to, because we have to be able to like feel an emotion, right? Like, you go to an event, you feel the emotion that happens there, and you convey that then in your work. And I think that in order to do that well, you have to live in the complexity of that emotion. And so I think that, like, that, you can't turn that off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we're carrying
absolutely.
that into every conversation. We're carrying that into, like, Jordan asking these comments, like, man, I hope they answer my question. Like, because we are, like, we as people who make stuff are like, people have used the term sensitive in a derogatory way, but, like, man, I hope I can die sensitive. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so I want to be a nice one, kid. I want to be encouraging.
Yeah. And
I want to hold the door open. Yeah.
absolutely, as you mentioned, like, we all start there. I remember reaching out to people about the like dumbest questions ever, and we're talking about, people I look up to, and they were so nice to me, and that just makes me like, wow, like, it's crazy to think that this person will reach back to me and answer all these questions. And now that I'm in a position that I have, I wouldn't say uh, people following me, but some people like my work,
Sure.
and they ask me questions, and I always try to be the nicest person
Yeah,
when it
dude.
comes to like sharing. Some people have asked me like, dude, I don't want you to share like secrets. I'm like, there is no secrets to share.
Right.
This is all like the way I felt like I started, it's almost like fake it until you make it
Yeah, dude.
scenario.
100%.
It's just trial and error. And a lot of people and a lot of my guests in the past episodes have mentioned the same thing. It's just kind of like trial and error, seeing what works, what doesn't work for you, things that you
Right.
like, things that you doesn't like. And as I mentioned, some of the most rewarding things for me creating this podcast is people reaching out and saying they've been learning from the
Yeah.
stuff that we talk about.
Right.
And it's so rewarding to hear somebody like asking me a question and being like, hey, it can be whatever question, like, what lens should I use if I'm gonna be shooting a CrossFit competition and blah blah. And then just taking the time answering, and then them reaching out to you like, dude, thank you so much for just answering back. I thought you were not gonna answer.
Right.
Stuff
Right.
like that. It kind of blows my mind that some people wouldn't just take 1 minute and help somebody that
Right.
you were in that situation at some
Right.
point in your
Right.
life.
And I
Nobody
mean,
just nobody just figured out the first day. We all had doubts, we all failed
right.
so many times, and just having a like a platform like social media that you can reach out to people,
Right.
it just
I mean, let's give some people the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, that maybe they're so famous that they don't have the chance to get to, like, respond to
yeah, but that I'm
whatever.
talking about, yeah, that's
Right.
like, I don't know if
Right.
you reach out to, yeah,
Right.
exactly, like, people don't even probably check their DMs unless you have the
Right.
check mark.
Right. Like, if you're messaging Joe Rogan and he's not
Yeah,
responding, like,
exactly.
that's on you.
Absolutely.
Like,
But
that's on you.
I honestly feel like the industry that we're at, it's very good at, like, we are all very good at sharing. Like, if somebody has a question, like, we're all pretty good at, just sharing our information and
Right. Right.
just helping,
Right.
especially in the CrossFit community, because it's so like community driven,
Sure.
that we are very good at, dude, yeah, I'll help you out, or,
Right.
I'll,
And it's like, to me, it's not a contest, like, I'm not trying to hoard my information to hopefully make my content better than yours. Like, if anybody shows up and makes, like, something cool, like, that's good for all of us. Like, it's good for every single one of us, because if we can all look at that and be like, man, that thing is cool, like, I want to make something like that, or like there's some part of that that awakens some part of me, then, like, that means they did a good job. That means that, like, they have then opened the door for you to do something new too, um, like, I think to be what is it like? Is the whole thing, it's like a growth versus like a fixed mindset, like if I'm fixated on this thing, like this is the only way, then that is only going to like stunt growth for me and for anybody in my vicinity, but like if I can look at every opportunity as an opportunity to grow, then like any person I get to work with or be around, I can learn something from, regardless of like if they've been at it for a year or if they've been at it for 30 years. Like, I'm not like, the day that I stopped being willing to learn from other people, it's like time for me to hang it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, the bad thing would be to say it's time to go teach, because I feel like so many of my teachers were just like, yeah, I know it all. They got the whole thing figured out. And they did not. They absolutely did not.
Absolutely. I feel like we're always learning from other people. It doesn't
dude.
matter how many years you've been in the industry, like you're always gonna have something new to learn.
For sure. I want to. I certainly hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that we're talking about social media, and I wanted to share one of the videos that you also shared. I think it was probably yesterday or 2 days ago. And it was another one that I thought it was really good and really meaningful, and it can connect with a lot of things that we do as content creators. So I'm gonna play the audio real quick and then we can talk about it.
This is Elise Myers. Is that right? I think. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Do not filter yourself. Do not make yourself a version of you that you think is more palatable, digestible, lovable. Don't filter the humanity and the personality out of yourself. We already have that version of you. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. We don't want that version of you. We want you. Make content that makes you happy, that fills a creative void in your life. Do things for creative sake just because you love doing them. Don't try and monetize everything that you do. Don't make every hobby a side hustle. Don't make every hobby a job. Just do things because you love them, and watch your life just like change. You are suddenly doing things because they make you happy, and that's a really, really powerful thing.
That's a powerful message too.
Yeah, dude. Fuck. I cried when I first heard it, and I cried again.
And it's something that in the industry that we're a part of, it's so important to things because you love it.
Yeah.
Things because you enjoy it. And the moment you start seeing it as like, okay, I'm gonna try to monetize this and that, and I'm gonna do everything just because of work, that's the moment it stops being fun. And we were talking about it last week with Sammy. And in reality, we all started this because it's something that we're passionate about. Like, it's fun. We didn't start it because we wanted to be, millionaires out of content creation.
Right.
And that's a moment that I feel like you're gonna burn out the moment that you stop having fun and stop being the version that you started.
It's a balance though, right? Like for example, I had a brief foray into running my own YouTube channel. It was called Max Effort Reviews. And I started it because I thought this would be fun. But at the same time, it was like mid-COVID. Like there were events weren't happening. All of my work had been based around like shooting live events. And I was like, I need to be able to generate income. I need to build this YouTube thing up to generate income. And I put all of this pressure on it from the beginning that it needed to become this, it needed to replace all the work that I've been doing. That like when it was hard and it like, I wasn't just letting it be fulfilling, like creatively. I wasn't just letting it be this like fun creative outlet, because like I would hit publish and it would get like, 30 views or something. And I was like, this is failing. I need a whole other thing, like to generate income again. But it was also like a terrifying time too, like the world had shut down. It's like easy to forget like how short ago that was. But, living in Florida, our world seemingly had never shut down, but you know what I mean? But like, the things that I repost, like that thing from Elise, are more for me than they are. It's not me saying like, here's this thing I have figured out. Like I like resonate with that message because I tend to I tend to try to force things to be something that they aren't, instead of sometimes just letting a thing be what it is, you know, like, and that for me has been like learning to skateboard again, has been like a practice. It's like a discipline. It's a meditation to like, just let a thing be what you know, like just letting it be what it is. Like that's it. And like, hey, I enjoy skateboarding. I'm not like, and I don't have to be good at it. And I don't have to decide that I'm going to become a professional skateboarder. You know,
Yeah.
like I can just enjoy it because it makes me happy, and that's it. And and that is what I took away from Elise's thing is like, there's this a quote I read a long time ago that was like, don't do what you have to do, or don't do what you think you have to do. Do what makes you come alive, because the world is full of people doing what they have to do. But what it needs is a you that is fully alive. And that's essentially the exact same thing that Elise said, right? But like, we have to find a way to be ourselves, you know, whatever that means, like whatever that means. We
Yeah.
all have to find a way to be ourselves, or like
I love that she mentioned that at the beginning. We want
Right.
the real version of
Yes.
yourself.
Right. Yeah. Not fucking watered down, like you, all of you.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm still working on, you know, like,
Mhm.
I don't have that figured out. Maybe I never will, but like, I will keep trying, and I will keep failing at it if I have to. And I will keep trying again. And I want to be able to do that for other people too.
Absolutely. And that's something I've been working personally on too, just showing myself on social media, because sometimes it's tough, right? Like you have um there's people that look at your stuff. So it's almost hard to like show your feelings, show the real version of yourself, but that's you. So that's what they should get. Like the content you post, it should be stuff that makes you happy, that it doesn't matter if they don't like it. If you want to post about, I don't know, like a wedding or something like that, and people
Yeah.
don't like it,
Yeah.
like it's okay. Like I enjoy what I did here, and I'm
Right.
gonna post it. And sometimes it's hard for me because I know that most people that follow me on my account, it's because of CrossFit content.
Right.
But in reality, I enjoy other things, right? And that's something I've been working on. And also, um, I wrote something the other day. It's the first time probably that I share like my feelings on social media,
Right.
and I shared some. I don't know if you saw it. It was like a little story that I was like, you know, I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had this year, for the times I've failed, for the new friends, for the people I've lost. Uh, I'm thankful for, you know, the times that I thought that I wasn't gonna be able to make it, and the times that I, you know, that I felt all this thing that I'm like, I'm not good enough. I'm thankful for all that. I'm grateful
Right.
that I experienced that.
Right.
Right. And at the end I finished with, but today I'm proud of myself. I'm proud
Yeah.
of, you know, of my work. And that's something that was so hard for me to share, and just writing it. I remember I was in the airport. I was leaving from Vermont to Pensacola, from a great weekend. It's something that, you know, like I was just proud of myself. Like,
Right.
dude, I can't believe I'm in a situation that I get to travel and do the things that I love and meet cool
Right.
people and create, and, you know, and I just felt like sharing that moment. And it's hard, dude. It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and the cool thing about it too is that people felt it.
Yes.
And I got a lot of feedback, you know, like, dude, I love that you're sharing stuff like this, and that you're, you know, showing your feelings, and it's a true self, you know, it's true me.
Right. Right.
um I've had a tough year, and I've had an awesome year, and
Right.
I feel like I felt like sharing at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, like, I think we spend so much time scrolling, emotionless, you know, mind, heart turned off. You're just like scrolling, and you see something that you connect with, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot I like to connect. you know, like I forgot that, like, that's why I came here in the first place, right? Like, because my friends were on Instagram, or like because I liked seeing something from this artist. Like I think we crave that connection. And I think it's also like so important for us as like business owners, freelancers, like human beings, to like look back at what we're doing, or what, you know, what we have been doing, what we're up to, and like be proud of it, you know,
Yeah.
like even if we're just proud of our effort, like, man, I've tried so hard, you know, like,
Hmm.
just being proud of that thing, I think is like, it matters, you know, like,
Yeah.
there's this like, skateboarder that I follow on TikTok. He posted this thing about like how important it is just to out loud say, I'm having a good time,
Hmm.
when you're having a good time. Um, to like start to wire your brain into that mentality that you can acknowledge you are having a good time. Because like, I don't know about you, but I'm really good at telling myself when I'm having a bad time, but not ever being like, oh man, I'm having a good time. Like, I'm enjoying making this thing, or like I'm having fun filming this thing with my friends. But like, man, I'm tired, and there's not, like, you know, Starbucks is closed in this airport, and I'm like, here's my list of first world problems at 4:30 in the morning. And then you start to feel like all of your work feels that way too, you know, like, you know, I don't have the opportunities that so and so has, whatever. Like, and if you can rewire that, this is something if I can rewire that to like, you know, I'm having a good time, you know, like, I am, to your point, I'm grateful for, you know, the ups and downs, and to be where I'm at today. Like, that's
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
you win.
Yeah,
You
and
win.
it's so easy for us to also text our friend and be like, "Hey, I'm sad today,"
Yes,
or like,
dude.
I'm not having a good day. Oh my God, I can't believe I just dropped something on the floor," and we don't share the moments that we're like, we. I mean, I've been trying to work on that too, but we don't usually text people like, "Hey, I'm happy today. I'm having
Right.
such a great time."
Right.
You know, we usually just share the negatives
Right.
of our days.
Right.
And as you're saying, it should be, we should be sharing every moment. And I felt like at that moment, I had to share that I'm proud of myself. And I was hoping it wouldn't sound like I was being cocky or anything like that.
Right.
But I just felt some like a feeling that I'm like, dude, I can't believe that you just that you're living the dream, something that I started full time in 2018.
Right.
um and I would have never in a million years thought that I would be traveling with some of my favorite art like
Right.
athletes, shooting some of my favorite athletes, flying and then talking to people I look up to. And at that point it just felt like I needed to share that I'm proud of myself, and I really hope more people would, you know, share that.
Right. Right.
But
I
again,
try.
not everybody's different. And I understand when people are like very low key, because
Sure.
not everybody wants to share their feelings on social media.
Right.
But
I try to sometimes just imagine, like, if I had a conversation with me at different phases of my life, you know, if like you know, I just turned 34. If 34-year-old me got to sit down with 15-year-old me, 18-year-old me, 21, 25, you know, like, would each of those previous versions be excited, you know, about like where I'm at, like even with hardships and ups and downs, like would they still be able to be like, yeah, you're doing it, you know, like
mhm,
you're out there doing it? And if the answer is yes, then like, hell yeah, you know,
mhm,
like, you know, then we keep on. We don't give up the ship.
absolutely. And another reason why we should be proud of our work is because we didn't get to the point that we're at because somebody gave it to us. Like, yes, it connections help, but it was everything. It's something we created, right?
Sure. Sure.
You started your journey and it was all you. Like the things that I'm doing right now, like I know I work hard and I know that the things that I'm doing, um, like I feel like I deserve it in some way, right?
Sure.
Um,
But I can
and
be proud
and
and thankful at the same time.
correct, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
like go to. It's that I'm proud and I'm thankful for opportunities, but at the same time, nothing came free, right?
Sure.
We all went through something that led to live in this moment.
Right. Like you have to put that work in, like
Yeah.
no
It's
one's
kind of
going
hard
to
to
do the work for
explain.
you.
I hope
Right.
people understand what I'm trying to say, but
Yeah. No, I get it. I get where you're coming
yeah.
from. No one's doing the work for you. You did the work yourself. Even if you were given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. There's a quote, I think it's Ben Franklin, that he says like some people miss opportunity because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. That like you can be given opportunities, but if you're not ready to like buckle up and like do the work that the opportunity requires, then you're going to miss it. So like people can hold the door open for you over and over again. But if you're not ready to like show up and work when you get through that door, then like you blew it.
Yep.
Um,
One of my best friends, Nick, I don't remember exactly a quote, but I remember it was the first time I got well, not the first time I got a big opportunity, but it was probably the biggest opportunity I got. And he texted me some like, dude, I'm proud of you that you're getting this opportunity. And sometimes you just need one opportunity to change your career, the path of your life.
right.
Be this opportunity, the one that's that's gonna make that change.
Yeah.
And that was at the beginning of the week, and I was like,
That's a good friend.
you're right. Like, yeah. And it's something that it's like sometimes you need people to tell you that, right? Like sometimes you need a friend to tell you, to remind you, hey, this is a great opportunity, because you're so caught up in the moment. You're so caught up on like the work that you have to do.
Right.
But it's an opportunity that can completely change your life. Sometimes you just need that one shot.
Right.
And that's going to completely change the path of your career. And I feel like at that moment, he reminded me of that. And I attacked that week with that feeling like, let this opportunity be the one that's going to change your career.
Right. Right. And you were ready to do it, like that's the I think that's the defining factor there is like, like just to keep like talking about Alex Dacus. Alex will text me sometimes, just like, I don't remember where I was even headed, but he texted me. He was like, hey, like, I know you're headed to go film this thing. Like, have a great week, be present, and be like, every bit of yourself, something like that. Something very sweet. Thank you, Alex. And I was in an airport and I went from like, okay, rental car, like my checklist of all the things that I had to do to just like, yes, you're right. Like I want to be here and I want to do my best and I want to be present. And to the thing we talked about before, it's just like trying to, trying to make the world the place that we want to live in. And I want to be better about doing that, on a casual text basis, like Alex can casually sneak in and like your friend did for you. But, I do get caught up in my own busyness and my own work. And that's the nature of the game sometimes. But like when we can remember those things, it's a game changer just to show up and be present,
Yeah. And having like a different perspective about the work that you're about to do also helps me, just not thinking, okay, it's only work,
right?
Let's make this week special in different ways.
Yeah.
Let's not create good content. Let's do more, let's make it special.
Like I've often said that we are in the people business. We just press record, like we're like, I don't feel like yes, I make media, right? Like, but like when I show up to a thing, I'm not always thinking about my media. Like I'm thinking about the person in front of my camera. I'm thinking about the fact that they're a human person, and that I am a human person, and that we can have a human interaction, but I'm going to press record and change some angles while we do it, like, it is not like binary. It's not ones and zeros. Like people are not formulas, people will never be formulas. But if we can like have a human interaction and acknowledge the humanity in someone else, regardless of their background and regardless if they look the same as me or not, and I can press record while I do that, or press my shutter button, then like I will leave with something that matters more than just like, I checked off my shot list and moved on.
Yeah, that's a great way to see it. Let's go through some of the comments that we have here. We have
Cool.
Brian Brand, good
What's
friend.
up,
He's
Brian?
like, I don't know Michael, but I feel like he just took me to church. Great life philosophy, nice one.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
You can just gently hum Amazing Grace during my rants and it'll count.
Do you pay him to say that, Michael? Tell me the truth.
$2 Venmo, Brian. I'll hit you up later.
We have Steven Stover. Great dude. He said, I love you both.
Thanks, dude. Love you too.
Jordan, I appreciate Michael's perspective. I got to experience it firsthand at Rogue Invitational. He took time to introduce himself in a moment I felt out of place and was doubting myself. Now that he knew.
Gang of shit, dude. Happy to.
We have Party on Forever. What's his name again?
Andy.
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 Love the max effort YouTube bot. Even if it wasn't what you wanted it to be, it was good content, relatable.
Thanks, dude. Andy just launched a burger truck. He's changing full-on careers. He slings burgers.
There you go.
In Nashville. If you like burgers in Nashville, Bad Luck Burger Club. $2. Pay you later.
Lillian, the goat.
The goat. You need to get Lily on this podcast. I was telling her that.
I asked her.
Yeah.
So hopefully
she said she was timid, and I said you need to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good question here. Dan asks, how do you balance life as a freelancer and a father? And before you get started, that's a question that I usually ask my guest. How do they balance? Because time management is so tough for everybody.
Right.
And being a husband and a father, like that's something that it's super interesting to me.
Right. It's tough, dude. I'm not going to say that it's easy. My daughter goes to daycare 3 days a week. And those are my most productive days of the week. I at various times I have like gotten her to bed and then worked well after she was asleep. Like when she was a baby, I would mount, like I had a little wrap that I would wear here at my desk. I bought a standing desk so that I could wear her on the wrap and I would bounce and edit, like just get my work done and bounce her to sleep. She like her how do I say this? her existence does not make working easier, right? But it makes it worth it. Does that make sense? Like I have this picture. I'll show you. It's right here beside my desk. I keep it right here. It says, do it for her. And I keep it right beside my desk because like, I'm going to cry. My life is not work. You know what I mean? Like your life is not work, but we have to find things that give meaning and purpose to our work. And that little girl has made work matter, has given purpose to things where it didn't exist before. So like Dan, like the real story is like daycare and my wife is incredibly supportive. So, like headed into semifinals in the CrossFit game season, I'm about to be gone for 4 weekends and my wife will hold the fort down for, the 4 weekends that I'm gone. And so will her parents, they'll help out. So, it really does take a village. So I very much tried to leave my office and turn work off as often as I can to be fully present with my daughter and my wife and our dog. We have a puppy and I wish someone would have told me to get an old dog. He doesn't know, the dog doesn't entirely understand English. So maybe he doesn't understand that I'm talking shit about him, but he's great. And I try to be very present. I try to not let work encompass everything that I do because I do not want my whole life to be working. Like I want my work to give purpose to my life and my life to give purpose to my work. And I don't want either of those things to, like overshadow. But yeah, dude, that's the balance. It's a constant ongoing You know, sometimes I have to take a phone call and my daughter is like begging me for, you know, can I watch my iPad? And then like, yeah, yes, baby, hold on, you know, like, and sometimes she comes in the office and I give her an iPad to learn to like use Procreate or something, you know, and she draws and Procreate.
Nice.
So it's constant. It's daycare. It's an extremely supportive spouse. It's a very helpful family. And it's also just like, sometimes I am going to turn my computer off and I'm going to walk away and I'm going to go be a dad and a husband and a dog dad and not a someone making a video. If that answers the question.
I love it. I feel like so much, like you've shared so much knowledge on this podcast is really, really, really cool.
Happy to help. Hope it helps.
Yeah. Let me see. We have Eric here. Much love, y'all.
Yeah.
Got a shred. Oh, he's talking about skateboarding.
Yeah.
He's into
he said, he asked what inspired you to skate.
Oh, here it is. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. So I grew up skating just downhill. Like I didn't know I was a very unathletic child, but I knew that I could like stand still and ride down the hill on a skateboard. And so that's what I would do. And I missed it. I missed it so much. And during COVID, I was in my driveway with my daughter playing all the time because, you know, we couldn't go anywhere. And so I bought a skateboard. I started trying to learn like flat ground tricks. I wanted just to play. You know what I mean? I wanted to play. I needed a thing, to our earlier point, that was fun and that existed solely for enjoyment. And I realized I was really bad at flat ground skateboarding. Very bad at it. So I decided to sell a bunch of old used equipment and built a mini ramp in my backyard. And so it was very much needing a thing that was fun.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it. It's like a new challenge and something you enjoy.
Yes. And I'm always beat up and broken minimally from it, but it provides so much value to my life that like it is such a worthwhile endeavor for me. I can't recommend it to everybody, but
yeah,
everyone can find a place in skateboarding if you want.
Absolutely. Michael, we have been on for 1 hour and 12 minutes, which is crazy because it feels like it went by super quick.
Look at us.
So I feel like we can still talk for another hour. I know you have things to do. So what I'll probably say, it's like we should have you soon. Like we should have you back eventually in another episode and talk more in depth about your life as a content creator, you know, after like 2013 and then obviously going into 2019, working full-time to CrossFit and all that. So that could be another episode by itself.
Cool. Yeah, dude, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much, man. This is great.
I'm super grateful to, you know, have the opportunity to have you here, and dude, so much knowledge that you shared on this episode. I really, really hope that a lot of people, you know, not only listen to it, but also like take action in the things that you said. And again, it's somebody that has a good amount of experience in the industry. So just I wanted to, you know, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for having me. And again, if I can like open the door, if I can like provide some guidance, I will do it as often as I can.
Be the nice one kid, right?
Yeah, dude. I will be your nice one kid. You post a thing, I will be like, nice one. And
nice one.
I will do that for you.
All right. Before we cut it, what's next for Michael?
Semifinals. That is my that's the next thing that's like knocking at the door. I have to take a drone certification test on Friday that I'm like dreading. Like that's really the next thing. The Airman Knowledge Testing Support Supplement. This is mind numbing. That's the thing I'm doing next on Friday. And yo, what up, Carly Creative? And then semifinals, dude. Just being on the road for 4 weeks, telling stories about the fittest people in the world, where they live.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the next move.
So I'm guessing I'll see you in Knoxville the first week. I'm going to be there.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm so excited. Yeah. That's great. My wife and daughter are coming that Sunday. So they'll be hanging out in Knoxville with me for a little bit. So yeah, dude, Knoxville first 2 weeks, Granite Games, Strength and Depth in London. It's going to be a wild ride. I'll be a ghost, a shell of a man at the end of the 4 weeks. But
That's
we'll
awesome.
have a good time.
Happy for you, dude.
Yeah, dude.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening again to another episode. This is episode 10, which is pretty cool that
Congrats.
I made
man.
it 10 episodes. So hopefully next one's gonna be, you know, next mark's gonna be the 100th episode. So
maybe 20.
we'll see.
Maybe
gotta aim high. Let's see if I can make it 100 episodes. If you want to follow Michael, his Instagram handles right there. It's at Michael IS Hustle.
Michael is Hustle right there.
Oh, is okay.
Is,
Michael,
yeah.
Michael is Hustle.
Yeah.
Please share this podcast if you enjoyed it. You can follow me, my social media account. It's right there at Bound Media.
Where is it?
Right here.
Well, let me point at it. How do I not?
You can't. And just subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm gonna try to do episodes twice a week if time allows. Once for sure, twice will be hopefully the goal. Like the YouTube thing. I'm so new to all this that I don't know. So, but you guys understand.
Yeah, dude. Like and subscribe. Content
like
Lab podcast.
There you go. You got
tell
it.
your friends. Hit the little notification bell.
All of the
hit them all. Press it if you see a bell. Touch it. Ring it.
Yeah.
And then watch all the new episodes of Content Lab as they come out. You need it.
I should probably just copy paste that at the end of every episode.
Yeah, dude, you can Venmo me $2 later.
There you go. Yeah, and it's gonna for everybody that's listening live. It's gonna be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts tomorrow, so you can listen there too. All right,
we'll be internet famous
Michael,
on all the platforms. Thank you, dude. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, dude. I'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Bye.